All right, giving the other players a couple minutes and then we get started. We get starting. All right, I need at least 12 players, 6 so far, at least 12 players, and then we'll get started. The pin is displayed on the screen, 4923165. That's the game pin. Do we have it? Can I get some confirmation? I need to find out what's happening. Are we in or not? I'm only seeing 7 individuals.
Come on, guys, get on in the game so the teacher can go on. There are 21 persons on.
I'm in, sir.
And only 7. Come on, do the maths now. That's 1/3. We need more, at least half. Sister Marie, was the link in the chat? I think I shared the link in the chat.
Yes, man, I'm seeing it. 4923165.
Okay.
It's big and bold on the screen.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started with these individuals. Time is going. All right, so we're going to review a few questions. I think there's a minute to answer each question. All right, so go ahead and solve -3 squared plus -2 squared. What is that equal to? Put your answers in. You should be able to see the answers on your screen if it's A, B, C, or D. Remember, when you square a negative number, it becomes positive. Keep that in mind. If while we're playing, other individuals need to join, the pin is also displayed at the bottom of the screen, 4923165. All right, the answer was C. 2 people got it wrong. All right, second question. A test was marked out of 80. A boy scored 60% of the marks on the test. How many marks did he score? And of course, all the questions are past CSEC questions from multiple choice papers. All right, so the answer was B. 5 people got it right. All right, 3.
Sir, I'm not seeing the questions, sir. I'm just seeing A, B, C, and D.
So you're gonna have to be looking on my screen for the question or listen to when I'm reading the question. The only thing that you will see displayed on your screen is the option A, B, C, or D.
Okay, sir.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to look on my screen that I'm sharing for the question. All right, the square root of 181 lies between what two values? All right, the answer there was A. All right, 2 people got it wrong, 8 got it right, more people got it right, so that's good. All right, if Q equals A, B, C, how many subsets can be obtained from set Q? Set Q has 3 elements. All right, item 10 refers to the following information: prime numbers, odd numbers, even numbers. Which set will be an empty set? I remember us doing this problem together. In other words, which two has nothing in common? All right. The odd numbers and even numbers, of course, will not have anything in common. In the Venn diagram, the shaded area, what does it represent? Is it P prime, P union Q complement, P intersect P union Q, or P intersect P? Q intersect P, rather. All right, so our answer there is A, P complement. Everything outside of P was shaded. All right, 5 more questions after this. If $7,000 is borrowed at a rate of 5% per annum for 3 years, what is the simple interest? So remember, simple interest is principal times rate times number of years or time divided by 100. dress costs $180 and is being sold at a discount of 10%. The amount of the discount is it 1.8? Is it 10? Is it 18? Or is it $170? All right, the answer there is 18. One over 5x plus 2 over 3x. What is that equal to? 1 over 5x plus 2 over 3x. All right, almost done. If x is an integer that satisfies the inequality for less than or equal to 2x, less than 2x or less than or equal to 6, then what is the value of x? All right, answer is A. 2 more and then we'll get going. All right, might be a little bit small, but I'll read it for you. 3x squared times 2x cubed. 3x squared times 2x cubed.
Sir, what is B saying?
6x to the 5th power. And that was actually the answer. All right, final one. Given that 1 millimeter equals 1 over 1,000, what is 2,500 millimeters in meters? All right, so that was 2.5. That concludes our revision session. All right, so 10 out of 12, 9 out of 12, not bad. All right, thank you so much for participating, guys. We're gonna go ahead and get back into what we had, where we stopped yesterday. So yesterday we were on question 9, geometry and trigonometry. All right, it says a diagram below not drawn to scale. It shows the relative position of 3 reservoirs, B, F, and G, all on level ground. The distance BF is 32 kilometers and FG is 55. Angle BFG, which is angle F. Remember, when you have 3 letters, it's always the angle that is in the middle that we're referring to. So angle F is 103, which we can see right here. And F is on a bearing of 42 degrees from B. So F from B, which is this intersection right here, is 142 degrees. We're asked to determine the bearing of B from F. This is a very important part. B from F, it means, as I went ahead and I did this, let me just erase this for now. But always remember that when we're talking about bearings, it's always in relation to north. So it's always about direction, north, south, east, and west. So let me go ahead and put that in. So it's in relation to north, and that's going to be my north. Now we're asked to find the bearing of B from F. So from F means it's from this point and it's going towards B. B's here, but it's on this line BF. So B from F means we need this angle right here, all of this angle right here. All right, there are a few things that we can use to help us. If we need the angle that's here in red, drawing this north or making the north right here and this line right here, they now become parallel. So these 2 lines that I have in black right here and right here, they become parallel, and BF now becomes a transversal right here. If you can see it, it's a parallel line. So because of that, this angle right here is now supplementary to the 42 degrees. So this angle right here, this is the portion that's left, it is supplementary to this angle right here. So in order for us to get what this value is right here, it's going to help us to find the remaining portion. We can do 180 degrees, because that's supplementary angles, they add up to 180 degrees, minus 42 degrees. In doing that, this section that I have right here in yellow is going to be 138 degrees. That's not what we want to, that's not what we were asked, but it's very helpful. So this angle right here is 138 degrees. Now, to find the red portion, all of this, the red and the yellow, when we add everything, it forms a total resolution, or angles meeting at a point. This point right here, I put it in purple. When angles meet at a point, they always add up to 360 degrees. So what we can do to find the bearing of B from F is to do 360 degrees minus or 138 degrees. When we do that, what do we end up with? Let me put on my symbols, my degrees. When we do 360 minus or 138, we get 222 degrees. So the bearing of B from F, which is this portion in red, is approximately, or is 222 degrees. And that's a very large angle, so that's about right. So this angle right here is 222 degrees. And that's it. That's 1 mark, so that satisfies it. So this is 222. All right. The second part says, calculate the distance BG given your answer to 1 decimal place. Calculate the distance of BG. Where is BG? BG is right here at the bottom. So let me go ahead and put this in green so you can see it. This is BG. All right. Now, this is not a right triangle. It's not a right angle triangle, but it is a triangle. And we have 2 lengths that can help us. We have 2 lengths. We have this length right here. which is 32, and we have this length right here, which is 55. We also have this angle right here, which is 103 degrees. So this is 103. We have our 32 right here. And we have our 55 right here. Now there's a rule that we can use. It's on our formula sheet. Whenever we're asked to find the length of an unknown side, and we have two lengths that are given and one angle that is between those two lengths, we can go ahead and use what is called our cosine rule. That's when the cosine rule is applied. It is applied when you have all three sides. In this case, we didn't have all three sides, or in a case where you have two sides and one angle. So we're going to be applying our cosine rule. You might be wondering, what is the cosine rule? The cosine rule was stated, as I said, it's on our formula sheet. Here it is right here. This is our cosine rule. The cosine rule states that a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. All we're going to be doing is substituting, so don't be confused about that formula. Where are we? We're right here. So the cosine rule states that a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. Sorry for this writing. All right. So all we're going to be doing, a squared, it's going to be referring to the angle that we need, the length that we need to find. And we currently need to find the distance of BG. So I'm going to replace a squared with BG. This will be equal to the two lengths that we know. And the two lengths that we know are 55 kilometers and 32. So it's going to be equal to 55 kilometers squared. That's going to be squared. Plus or 32 kilometers squared minus 2 times BC, and BC are the two sides that we have, which were 32 and 55. 55. So pretty much what we're doing is just substituting. And 32 cos A, should have written it a little bit smaller because I need some space. Cos A refers to the angle, and the angle that we have is 103. So it will be times cos A. Let's see if I can get some space right here. Cos A. All right, no space. All right, that's the best I can do for now. So all we're going to now be doing is simplifying this. We're going to do 55 squared plus 32 squared minus 2 times 55 times 32 times cos A. And in this case, cos A is going to be cos 103 because that's the angle we're given. Now this is 2 marks. So you can go ahead, you're asked to use your calculator, you can go ahead and put all this in your calculator. So let me see if I can go ahead and put this in my calculator. This was, nope, it doesn't work. Does it work? No, it doesn't work. All right, that's fine. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put it in our calculator. So we need BG. Come on. We need BG. So we're gonna be simplifying all of this. So I'm gonna just use my calculator right here, which is 55. All I'm gonna be doing is putting everything inside the calculator to get my result. 55 squared. Oh, come on. Sorry about that. 55 squared plus my 32 squared minus 2 times 55 times 32 times cos 103. All right. So all of that is equal to 4,840.83. Do we see that so far? So all I did was to put all of this in the calculator, and I got 4,800. What was it? 4,840.83. Now, in the beginning, we initially started with a squared, so this should have really been bg squared. We don't need to find what bg squared is, so we pretty much need to find the square root of this value in order to get rid of the square. So we're going to find the square root of both sides, and then that will give me the value for bg. So bg is equal to the square root of 4,840.83, and we're asked to put our answer to 1 decimal place. So let me go ahead and do that. So the square root of 4,840.83, that is 69.6. So bg is equal to 69.6. And it's a distance, so that's kilometers. And that's 2 marks. We pretty much did our 2 steps or 3 steps, and would have gotten our 2 marks. The next part says, calculate to the nearest degree the bearing of G
Sir,
from...
go back up, look a bit, let me screenshot that, sir.
Give me a moment. Calculate to the nearest degree the bearing of G from B. Do you have that?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the bearing of B from G. Here is G. G's on the line BG. So again, it's always a little bit tricky when it says B from G. What is that really asking? Remember, it's always in relation to north. So let me go ahead and use green right here. So B from G is pretty much talking about this entire angle right here. All of this. But the only part that we know is that we know that this part is 42 degrees. It therefore means that we need to find this angle right here. This is the angle that we need to find. And when we're done, we need to find the sum of the unknown angle plus or 42, because from B to G is this entire angle. Always remember that it's in relation to north. So we need to find this angle. We have this length right here, which is 55. We also have another angle, which is 103. And now we know that this is 69.6. We're asked to find an angle, but the cosine rule pretty much won't help us, because of course we use that.
You're gonna use the sine rule, sir.
We're gonna have to use our sine rule, because of course we have 2 lengths and plus we have an angle. So we're gonna be applying our sine rule. And again, the sine rule is on the formula sheet. Sine rule states A over sine A. Oh, sorry. Is equal to B over sine B. And of course, A over sine A, this small a refers to the length. This refers to the length, and this refers to the angle. So all we're going to be doing is we're going to be substituting values again. It's all about substituting and using your calculators to help you. All right, so it doesn't matter which one we use for A and B. So I'm going to go ahead and use my 55 as A. So 55, the angle that we need to find is directly in front of 55. So I'm going to say 55 over this unknown angle. So it's going to be 55 over sine A. And that's going to be equal to the length that we just found, 69.6 over sine 103. 69.6 over sine 103. Pretty much from here, all we're going to be doing is cross multiplying and substituting. So our aim is to find out what this angle is. We can go ahead and we can cross multiply. So we can multiply 55 times, we can multiply, my cursor hasn't been working from yesterday. So we can multiply 55 times sine 103. And that would be equal to 69.6 kilometers times sine A, which is really what we need to find. All right. Now we need to find, we have our calculator, we're going to be multiplying 55 times sine 103. So 55 times sine 103, that is 53.59. So all of this is equal to 53.59. This is now equal to the same thing, 69.6 kilometers times sine A, because in truth and in fact, that is what we need to find. All right, our aim is to find what sine A is. So we need to have sine A by itself. So it therefore means that we're going to have to be dividing everything by 69.6. Again, we're using our calculators, 53.59 divided by 69.6. So 53.59 divided by 69.6. That is, I'm going to leave it. Normally when you divide by sign or so, we normally tell students to leave it to like 3 decimal places or 2 decimal places. I'm going to leave it to 2 decimal places. So I'll say 0.77. So I have 0.77 is equal to sine A. Now, looking at the angle, we got 0.77. 0.77 does not really look like the measure of this angle. So because we need to find the measure of an angle, we're going to have to find the inverse of this value right here. So we're going to have to find the inverse of 0.77. And when you're writing that, it's the little 1. We're going to find the inverse. And that's going to give us what the measure of the angle is. To do that on your calculator, it depends on the calculator that you're using. Some calculators will say shift. Some calculators will say second function. Mine, I think, says shift. All right, so second function, 0.77. And that is 50.4. As I'm talking about the calculator and what you do on your calculator, please familiarize yourself with your calculator. If you're going to be borrowing a calculator, get it a couple days before, know where the keys are, know like these functions. As I said, some calculators will say second, some will say shift. Familiarize yourself with your calculator. If you don't own a calculator, please ensure that you own one for yourself. Borrowing one sometimes becomes a little bit difficult because you're not familiar with where the keys are and all that sort of things. So the measure of the angle right here is 50.4, but we're not quite done, as we mentioned. Right here is 50.4. Remember now, B from G is all of this that I mentioned in green. So in order for us to find that, we know that this little portion right here is 50.4. Right here is 42. We're going to find the sum of those two. So finally, we're going to do 50.4 plus, or what was it, 40 or 42? I think it was 42, was it? 42 And that's going to give us 92.4. Can put a little statement. So therefore, the measure of B from G is therefore the measure of B from G is 92.4 degrees. We're talking about variance. And that's our 3 marks. All right. Still on trigonometry and
Sir,
geometry.
didn't he say nearest degree, sir?
Did it say that? Oh, yes, it did say to the nearest degree. All right, so to the nearest degree, if it's 92.4, if it's to the nearest degree, what would I have? Would I have 92.4 or would I have 92?
92, sir.
It will be 92. Thank you for that observation. So yes, it indeed said to the nearest degree. So this is 92. All right, good. All right, now we have circle theorem. The diagram below, not drawn to scale, it shows a circle with the center being O right here. Points A, B, C, and M are on the circumference. Here you can see them right there. The straight line CN is a tangent at the point C and is perpendicular to BN. We need to find, it says, determine, given reason for your answer, angle ABC. Again, I will continue to mention that whenever you have 3 letters, it's always the angle in the middle that we were referring to. So ABC will form this triangle, A, B, C. Let me go ahead and put it in a green so you can see the triangle that we're referring to. If you look at how I'm drawing it, and if you look at it right away, you'd realize that this is a right triangle. And if it is a right triangle, it means that right here would be 90 degrees. And we need this angle right here. And an easy way to get that measure is, of course, to say 90 minus or 58. Other individuals would probably add 90 plus 58 and minus 180. It doesn't matter which way you do it, it's pretty much the same thing. So this will be 32 degrees. And the reason we know it's 32, remember you asked for a reason, it is because this is a right triangle or a right angle triangle. All right, or we're doing circle theorem, you could say angles in a semicircle, they form a right triangle. And the reason why I knew it was a right triangle right away is because this information right here, AOB, is the diameter. It cuts the circle in half in semicircle. So again, it forms a right triangle. So that's 2 marks, easy 2 marks right there. Next, we're asked to find CMB. Where is that triangle? CMB. Here is C. Here is M. And here is B. So pretty much we need to find right here. Now, in looking at the entire figure, we'd realize that A, C, M, and B, these 4 right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, those 4 points, they actually form a quadrilateral. And in circle theorem, the theorem states that angles in a cyclic quadrilateral, the opposite angles, they are supplementary. Supplementary angles, as I would have mentioned earlier on, they add up to 180 degrees. So to get this angle right here, we can subtract the opposite angle, 58. So we can go ahead and say 180 minus or 58. What's going to be your reason? Angles in a cyclic quadrilateral. All right, so that is our 100 minus our 58, which is 122. All right, so now we know that right here is 122 degrees right here. 122. All right, finally, we're asked to find NCM. Let me use a different color for this triangle now. N, C, and M. So this little triangle right here in purple, that's all we need to find. Well, we're practically given a lot of information that can help us. This is a right angle triangle again, right here. You see this right angle right here. The previous angle that we just found was 122 degrees. And pretty much this angle M and that angle forms a straight line. And we know that angles on a straight line adds up to 180 degrees. So in order for us to get this little part right here, it would be 180 minus or 22. But we need to find C, or aim is to find right here. So that's going to help us. So we're going to do 180 minus 122 first. That gives us what, 58? So right here, again, oh, yellow doesn't work right here. So right here is or 58. Now, if we know that right here is 58, we know right here is 90 degrees. We can go ahead and subtract 58 from 90 to get this angle right here. So therefore, NCM is equal to 90 minus or 58, which is 32 degrees. And the reason for that, angles in a triangle are right angle triangle. All right, so there are many reasons that we can use. So that was circuit theorem, and that was question, what was question was that? Question 9. All right, our final question. Question 10, vectors and matrices. A transformation T is determined by the matrix T 2, -1, 2, 0. The point A, -2, 3, is mapped onto the point A prime, or the image, which is AB, under the translation T. We need to find the values of A and B. Now, pretty much what this is saying is that we have the original, which was A, which was given, and we need to find the image. We're already given the transformation, which is 2 minus 1, 2, 0. We're also given the point where that is mapped onto, and that point is -2, 3. What we can do to find the values is, of course, multiply. So this is going to give us what points A and B will be equal to. In multiplying matrix or matrices, always remember it is row times column. So row times or column. Let's go ahead and do this. So it's going to be 2 times -2 plus -1 times 3. Then we're going to be doing 2 times -2 plus 0 times 3. We're going to work these out. 2 times -2, that's -4. -4 plus -3. And 2 times -2, that's -4 plus 0. So now we know at the top that will give us a value for A. Right away we see that's -7, and -4 plus 0 is -4. So it therefore means that A is equal to -7 and B is equal to -4. That's 2 marks. The second part says determine the transformation matrix that maps A prime onto A. A prime, it refers to the image, and A refers to the original. So in truth and in fact, it's asking you to do the reverse. And the terminology that is used whenever we're doing the reverse in matrix, or of course in mathematics, you're doing the reverse, you're doing the opposite, that is basically asking you to find the inverse of the matrix. So we're actually being asked to find the inverse because we were given the image and we're asked to go back to the original. How do we find the inverse in a matrix? The inverse is found by using the formula 1 over the determinant, which is multiplied by the adjoint. And of course, the determinant is AD minus BC. The adjoint is where the leading diagonal will switch places. So D and A will switch place. And B and C, they remain the same, but they're multiplied by negatives. So all we're going to be doing is substituting our values right here. The information that we're given is this function, this matrix right here. We're given the translation, which is 2, -1, 2, and 0. 2, -1, 2, and 0. So pretty much we're going to be finding the inverse of this. First, we want to go ahead and find the determinant. The determinant is A times D, so that's 2 times 0, minus B, and in this case, B is -1 times 2. 2 times 0, that's 0, minus -2. 2 negative will give us a positive, so 0 plus 2 is 2. So that part, 1 over the determinant, will be equal to a half. Now this half will be multiplied by our adjoint, and our adjoint is where we switch A and B. So it will be a half times 0, 2. These are switching places. Let me go ahead and highlight it for you. The leading diagonal switch places. So 2, 0 will now become 0, 2. And B and C will now become negative. However, B is a negative, so it will become positive. C is positive, so it will become negative. And pretty much that is our inverse, but we can go ahead and we can simplify. We're going to multiply a half by each of the element. A half times 0, that's 0. A half times 1, that's still a half. A half times 2, that's -1. Here it is, a half times 2. 2 into 2, 1. That's where I got -1. And a half times 2 is +1. So the transformation matrix that maps A prime onto A is 0, 1/2, -1, and 1. So pretty much as I said from the beginning, we're really asked to find the inverse. Another transformation P is determined by the matrix P 0, 1, 1, -2. We're asked to find a single 2 by 2 matrix that represents the combined transformation. Whenever we hear the word combined transformation, it means that we're going to be multiplying. So multiplying. So we need to find the 2 by 2 matrix that represents the combined transformation of T followed by P. This is a very controversial statement right here. T followed by P. What this is actually saying is that P is in front and T is behind it. So pretty much you're asked to find the product of P times T, not T times P. Please remember that. So if you see T followed by P, it's pretty much the last one goes first and the first one goes behind it. So T followed by P means that P is in front and T is following P or behind P. So pretty much we're going to be multiplying. P is 0, 1 and 1, -2. In case you're wondering, here it is right here. That's where I got it from. And T was what we started with, which was 2, -1, 2, 0. All right, we're going to multiply. Remember, in matrix, it's always row times column. Let's go. So our first row is going to be 0 times 2 plus 1 times 2. So 0 times 2, 1 times 2. Finish with that one. Moving on to the second part now. 0 times -1, 1 times 0. Then we're going to be doing 1 times 2 plus -2 times 2. 1 times -1 and -2 times 0. All right, pretty much all we're going to be doing now is solving all of these. 2 times 0, that is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. Plus 2 is 2. So the first element will be 2. 0, any number times 0 is going to be 0. 0 plus 0, that's 0. So that's 0 right here. Let's use black. 1 times 2, that's 2. Plus 2 -2 times +2, that's a -4. +2 plus -4, that's going to give me a -2. And the final part, let's use purple. 1 times -1, that's -1 plus 0. So I tried to use the color so that you can make the connection. All I did was simplify 0 times 2, 0 plus 1 times 2, 2. That's my first element. This is all 0, so that goes there, right here. So that's my 2 by 2 matrix. The final part says, hence, what's that? Okay, hence, find the image of the point 1, 4 under the combined transformation. Again, we need to find the image of this combined transformation. What was the combined transformation? The combined transformation was what we just found, which is 2, 0, -2, -1. It's going to be combined with this one now. It's an image, so we're going to be multiplying by 1, 4. Again, row times column. There's only one column. 2 times 1 plus 0 times 4. -2 times 1 plus -1 times 4. We're going to be simplifying this now. 2 times 1, that's 2. 2 plus 0, that's 2. -2 times 1, that's -2. Plus -4. -2 plus -4, you owe 2, and then you owe 4 in all, so that's -6. We're asked to find the image of the point of this point. We're talking about a point, so we're not going to be writing it as in a vector form like this, but we're going to be writing it in ordered pair like this. So our result for that is 2, -6. That's our point. That concludes the matrix, the matrices aspect. We're going to be looking at the final part now, which is our vectors. The diagram below, not drawn to scale, shows a quadrilateral ABCD in which AB is equal to M. So here's AB is equal to M, and DC is 3M, which means that DC is 3 times the size of AB. We're also given that AD, which is right here, it is N. Complete the statement below on the geometric properties of the following vectors. AB and DC are, let's look at AB and DC. We can clearly see that they are parallel. How do I know that? It's stated right here. Here it is. These two lines, it means that they are parallel. And AB is how many times CD? Well, AB was given as M and DC was given as 3. Think about it. AD is just M, which is 1, and DC is 3 times that, which means, let's break it up into 3 pieces. So 1, 2, 3. So AB is 1 out of the 3. So pretty much what this is saying is that AB is 1/3 the amount of CD. So AB is 1/3 times CD. And we can pretty much see that right here. Here it is. AB is pretty much smaller than DC. And that's 2 marks. We're then asked to express BC in terms of M and N. Where is BC? All right, so BC is right here. We need to express BC in terms of M and N. Okay. Well, let's see if we can find BC. But what is the direction that we're going to be going? What direction will give us BC? So we need right here. Pretty much we can just add everything. We can add BA, so we can go this direction. We can add AD, and we can add DC. Adding those 3 will give us BC. So BC will be equal to BA plus AD plus DC. Sorry about that writing. All right. It says you need to write your answer in terms of M and N. So those are the only letters that needs to be a part of your result. Now, we were given that A to B is positive M. If we're going in the opposite direction, B to A will be negative M. Plus AD. AD is N. That's it right there. Plus DC, which is 3M. This can be simplified. Negative M plus 3M, that's going to be 2M plus N. And that's our result. So BC in terms of M and N is equal to 2M. 2M, come on. 2M plus N. And that's BC. All right, final question. The final question says that L is the midpoint of CD. So L is halfway, right here. L is halfway between C and D, which is right. And we need to find BL in terms of M and N. So BL, if this is L, this is L right here, we need to find BL. So BL would be right here. So we need to find this. All right, what's going to take us to BL? Pretty much we can say BL is equal to BC plus CL. This is L. So we can go this direction. Remember, the arrows must be going in the same direction. So B to C and C to L. Those two will give us what BL is equal to. So BL is equal to BC plus, what did I say, CL. Wait, we just found BC. We know that BC is 2m plus n. Plus CL. The only information that we got on CL is that CL is half of DC. We know that DC is 3 meters. Half of 3 is pretty much 3 halves, 3 over 2. But we're going in the opposite direction. Do you realize from D to C, we're going the positive direction. We went to the right. So because we're going in the opposite direction, we can say that this is a negative 3 over 2. So pretty much CL is negative, it's plus negative 3 over 2. What was the letter there? M. Well, looking at this, we pretty much we can simplify. We don't need these two signs, so we can take out this positive right here and just have our minus. All right, to make it a little bit simpler, I'll put these over 1 so that you can see that we have denominators. Then I'll find my LCD. 2 into 1, that's 2, so this is 2m. Plus 1 into 2, that's 2 again, so this is 2n. Eraser. 1 into 2, that's 2. 2 times 2, that's 4. So this is 4. Minus 2 into 2, 1, minus 3m. All right, so 4m minus 3, 4 minus 3, that's just m plus 2n. All over 2. And that's it. We have completed our paper 2. We have answered all the questions. I will leave that there. I haven't emailed you guys that as yet because I did not complete this paper. Know that I have completed it. I will send you, I won't erase anything. I'll just keep it at that. All
So,
right,
sir,
are
at
we?
the end of
Yes.
question, sir. At the end of this, I should send you my email address.
Were you here? You were? Oh, yesterday I sent out a Google form. I can send out the Google form again, and then you complete it. Okay. Or you can add it.
Okay.
Or you can add it when we're done. Just put your email in it, and I'll copy it.
Okay.
All right. So that was our paper 2. All right, let's now conclude with our paper 1. And this was what year?
Can you get back a calculator?
This was 2020. January 2020, which was last year. Remember, you didn't have any May, June exam. So this is like one of the most recent paper 1. Again, no calculators for paper 1. The answer is there. Do not leave out anything. There is a 25% chance, 1 out of 4, there's a 25% chance that you will get the answer right. So if you're working a problem and you're not sure, you go back to it and you probably are running out of time or whatever, and you're thinking of leaving the problem, just choose an answer. It's multiple choice. Don't think about leaving out anything.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Is this city angles maths paper you're doing?
No.
Okay.
Yes. CSEC. Yeah. All right. Let's go. Someone in the chat. Are we ready for Are we ready for the paper one now? Okay. The email, I'm getting them now. Okay. Oh, the chemistry. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Ready? Are we ready to go now? Remember, no calculators. We're going to be working together on this one now. So, what percentage of 40 is 8? Percentage. Remember now, percentage is out of 100. So, what percentage of 40? So, what percentage of 40? So, pretty much we want 40%. So, 40% of
20.
what number? 40% of, you're saying 20? Well, we
Yes.
could, yeah, all right. We're going to see if we can prove it. So 40% of what number will give us 8? That's pretty much what the question is asking. 40% of 5, this is too small, and this is definitely too big. So our answer is between 20 and 32. All right, so someone said 20, so let's go ahead and try 20. So 40% times 20. Let's see if we can reduce there. This 0 can go, this 0 can go, this 0 can go, and this 0 can go. 4 times 2, that's 8. So our answer is B, which is 20. Number 2. Number 2 says 2/3 raised to the negative 2. 2/3. Both of them, they are raised to a negative 2. Now, if this were a positive 2, you know right away that your answer would have been 4/9. Because when you square a number, you multiply it by itself, but it's not a positive. So it therefore means that A cannot be the answer because this is a negative number. Now, the laws of indices states that whenever a particular value is
It's
raised to a
D, sir.
negative, D, all right, let's see if we can prove it, if it's actually D. When it's raised to a negative power, it is, if A is raised to a negative power, it's 1/A. A very
No,
simple
sir,
way that,
sir. Never mind. Is there B or C?
don't change your answer. That's another thing I should have mentioned. If you're going to change your answer, make sure that you're sure, because you're changing your answer right now. Your answer is right. Your answer is indeed right. But let's prove it. Whenever you have
Okay.
whenever you have two values being raised to a negative, a simple way you can look at it is just flipping the values. So we're gonna put this positive 3, this 3 at the top, and the 2 below. And the reason why I flipped is because it is raised to a negative. When I flip, I will now be raising it to a positive 2. 3 squared means 3 times 3, which is 9, and 2 times 2, which is 4. So the answer is indeed D. All right, number 3. Number 3 says 17 squared minus 15 squared. 17 squared means 17 times 17. And 15 squared is 15 times 15. All right, so we know that 17 times 17, 289. And 15 squared, 15 times 15 is 225. We're going to put that under the square root now. So the square root, 17 squared is 289. So that's 289. Minus 15 times 15, which is 225. When we do now 289 minus 225, that gives us 64. Remember now we're asked to find the square root, and the square root of 64 is 8 because 8 times 8 is 64. So our answer here is C. Number 4, the square root of 190 and 191 lies between what two values? Remember, the opposite of finding the square root is actually squaring a number. So 11 squared is 121. 13 squared is 169. Looking at this is too large. 45 squared and this is too large. So D is already out, A is already out. So our answer is between B and C. 12 and 13, 12 squared is 144. And 13 squared is 169. Our number is 191. So it means that C is our correct answer right here. It lies between 13 and 14 because 13 squared is 169 and 14 times 14 is 196. So our answer is C. Number 5. 99 times 101 has the same value as, right. It looks, when you see it like this, it looks weird, like you've never seen anything like this before. But pretty much what this is saying is that 100 can be separated. It's always easy to work with 100. 100 can be separated as 100 plus 1. And if it's being multiplied by 99, pretty much we're multiplying this by 99. The distributive property states that whatever is on the outside is multiplied by whatever is on the inside. So 99 times, 99 times 100. This is 99 times 100.
Plus 1.
Plus 99 times 1, yes. Somebody asking a question? All right, I thought someone was asking a question. So right away, we know that D is our answer based on working with this. So we know that D is our answer. Another way that you could have looked at it, if you're still not able to see it from this, you could actually go ahead and work the answers. 99 times 100 is 9900. 990 plus 1 is not the same as 99 times 100. So A is out. And you could go ahead and work each of them, and you'd realize that, hey, 9,900 times 99 will not give us the same result right here. So either way you work it, we still get D as our answer. Question 6. There are 40 students in a class. Girls make up 60% of that 40. So let's go ahead and find that, right? So let's put that down. So girls make up 60% of the 40. 25% of the girls wear glasses. How many girls in the class wear glasses? So there are 40 students in the class. Girls make up 60%. So it must be more than 20 because we know that half of 40 is 20. So 60% of 40 is going to tell us how many girls are in the class. So let's find out how many girls are in the class. I can take this here. I can take this here. This 0 can go. This 0 can go. So in truth and in fact, there are 24 girls. The second part of the question says no, 25% of the 24 girls, they wear glasses. So we're going to have to find 25% of this 24. And 25% is pretty much a quarter. A quarter of 24. 1.
Is it A, sir?
Yes, a quarter of 24 is indeed 6, which is A. All right, number 7. If the number of elements in A equals m, then the number of subset, whenever we hear subset, you know the formula is 2 raised to n. How can this be expressed? It can also be expressed as 2 raised to the power of m, which is a, because it told us that the number of elements in A is m. And the formula to find the number of subsets in any given set is 2 raised to the power of n. And in this case, we're given that it's a little bit difficult when you have algebraic terms. Let me put some numbers there so you can see it. So let's say we had the number of elements in A was 5. You knew that it would have been 2 raised to the 5th power. So just replace the 5 with the m. It's the same concept. So it will be 2 raised to the power of m. So that is A. Number 8. Which of the following statements describe the set of integers greater than -3 but less than -6? Let's look at the options and rule out some answers. A, both the signs are greater than, so A is out. B, both the signs are greater than or equal to. And the part of the question says greater than and less than. So we're looking for that. So our answer is between C and D. In reading the problem, we're saying that x is greater than or equal to -3, or x is less than or equal to 6. This will also go because it has greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, but the question says greater than but less than. So C is also out. So it means our answer here is D. What D is saying is that x is greater than -3. X is also less than 6, and it is an integer. All right, number 9. Which of the following pairs of set is an example of a disjoint set? A disjoint set is where the circles do not touch, which means that they have nothing in common. Even numbers and odd numbers. Even numbers and odd numbers, right away, for sure we know, just by starting, we know that they have nothing in common. So right away, A is our answer there.
Answer the question, sir.
The question, here's the question. Which of the following pairs of set is an example of a disjoint set?
Oh,
Number 10. Given that set A is equal to 1, 3, 6, 8, 9, 12, 15, and B is equal to 6, 9, 12, which of the following statement is true? A says B.
I'm sorry, I didn't see number 9, sir.
Number 9 is A. Even numbers and odd numbers,
Okay.
they will be disjoint set because they have nothing in common. Yes. Which statement is true? B, this symbol right here. Anybody knows what this means? When it like a C or a little sideway U. Anybody knows what that symbol means? All right, so this actually means subset. So A is saying that B is a subset of A, which means that it can be taken from A. And looking at it, we can see that that is true, because B is 6, 9, 12, and 6, 9, and 12 are also a part of B. So A is our answer right here. B is indeed a subset of A. It is a set that comes from set A. So that is indeed true. All right, number 11. Number 11, the students in Teacher May's class have either a dog or a cat, or none or two. All the students who have a cat, they also have a dog. So every student that has a cat, they have a dog. If the number of elements in set C is 12 and the number of elements in set D is 16, Which of the following Venn diagrams correctly represent this information? So let's look at this. So there are 30 students in the class. Every student that has a dog, they also have a cat. So set A says 14 dogs, 12 cats, and this on the outside is telling us that nobody own a cat or a dog, which is not true because every student that own a cat, they also own a dog. This would also be wrong because 2 is again on the outside, so we know that A and B are out. So our answer is between C and D. Every student that has a cat, was that what he said? All students who have a cat, yes, they also have a dog. Looking at it, if you have a cat, you must have a dog. So this is saying that there are two in the intersection. We weren't given any information for that. But looking at D, it has more information that is leading toward the answer because cat, there are 12 cats, and you also have a dog. So C is pretty much saying that it is a subset of D. So our answer here would be D, because every student that has a cat, they also own a dog, which means that C is a subset of D. Number 12, in which of the following Venn diagram is the region A intersect B complement shaded? This is the part you must pay attention to. B complement means everything outside of B. The intersection means that A and B, they will be intersected, but the part of B will not be shaded. Which set is showing that information? So intersection, all of them are intersection. This part that says B
B.
complement, we're looking for everything outside of B, which is B, yes, right here. It's an intersection, but B, you'd realize that set B is not shaded because it is the complement, which means everything outside of B. Good. Number 13. If EC 2.5 is equal to 1 US, then EC $20 will be equal to how many US? We don't know. So let me put X. Right away, we can rule out two possible answers. If it takes $2.5 to get 1 US, it clearly means that the US has a smaller the EC has a smaller value. The US is stronger because it takes $2.50 or $2.50 to make one of the US dollars. So right away, we know that our answer cannot be C and it cannot be D. Those values are too large. Let's see if we can go ahead and I'm going to cross multiply, and we're going to work this. X times 2x, that's 2.5x. And we're going to be doing 20 times 1, which is 20.
Sir, is it B?
B, all right, let's see. So you said B, we're going to see if we can prove it.
Because if you divide 2.5 by 20, you get 8.
Yep. So 20 divided by 2.5. Remember now, we're not using any calculator, so let's see if we can work this. 2.5 is the same thing as 2.5 or 5/2. I normally like to put it like that. So pretty much what we're saying is 20 divided by 5/2, or 20 times 2 over 5. 5 into 5, 1, 5 into 24, and 4 times 2 is 8. So our answer is indeed B, as was stated. $14. The simple interest on $600 for T years at 5% per annum is 120. This is the simple interest. We need to find the value of T, which is our time. So the simple interest formula is principal times rate times time over 100. So the interest. If we want to find PRRT, this is a formula that can be used. So I'm going to multiply 100 times the interest. So this will be the interest times 100 equals PRT. In this case, we want T, so it's going to be divided by the principal and the rate. So if we want T, it's going to be the interest, which is 120, times 100, divided by the principal, which was the amount of money, which was 600, times the rate, which was 5. And in doing that, we can see that A is our answer. Number 15, given that y varies directly as x and y equals 19 and x equals 152, which of the following equation represents the relationship between x and y? I'm not sure where you guys are in terms of whatever you or your if you have completed the syllabus. You should have completed the syllabus by now, but you probably would have done variation. There is a formula that we normally use in variation, and it's y equals k times x. It's not a formula that's given, but it's a formula that's given in variation. And the reason why I knew this formula would be applied is because it says that y varies directly as x. So what that is saying is that as x increases, y also increase. If x decrease, then y also decrease. So that's what it means. We can now go ahead and substitute the values. So we know that y equals 19. And we don't know k. That's what we need to pretty much find because we're given x and y. And we know x is 19. So sorry, 152. If we need to find out what k is, we're going to have to divide both sides by 19. So k is equal to, what is 152 divided by 19? So 8. All right, so now we know that k is 8. We can pretty much rule out this and this. So our answer is between A and D. Now, as I mentioned, as y goes up, x goes up. As y goes down, x goes down. So now we know y equals k times x. Answer here is A. K is 8. Y equals k times 8. K is 8. And that was our variation formula. Number 16. A man's annual salary is 45,000. His tax-free allowance totals 13,000. He has to pay a tax of 20% on his taxable income. So the man's annual salary is 45,000. But 13,000 of it is not taxed. So I'm going to have to take out that 13,000. That part is not taxed. So 32,000 of his amount of his annual salary will be taxed by 20%. So I need to find 20% of 32,000. Can go ahead and simplify. I can take 1, 2, 2.
6,008.
6,008.
6,400.
No, 4, sorry. 4.
Yes, 320 times 2, 6,400. All right, so for this one, you had to read it carefully because it says that his tax-free allowance totals 13,000, which means that there's no tax that is added to 13,000. So he has to pay $6,400 in tax. All right, number 17. A man pays 60 cents for every 200 cubic meters of gas that is used, plus a fixed charge of $13.75. How much does he pay when he uses 55,000 volume of gas? So let's resolve the question now. A man pays 60 cents for every 200 cubic meters of gas that is used. So pretty much what we're asking is, if he used 55,000, how many 200 can we get out of that? So we can find that. Divide that by 200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 22, 1, 2 into 5, that's 2, remainder 1, 2 into 15, that's 7, remainder 1, and 2 into 10, that's 5. So this is 275.
275.
All right, we're not done. That's just the first part. We have just found how many 200 we can get out of the 55. Now, it says that the man pays 60 cents for every 200 cubic meters that he can use, and we just found out that he used 275. So pretty much what we need to find 60 cents of this value. 60 cents can be written as 0.60 times or 275. So we're going to be doing 0.60 times 275. I normally like putting it as 60 over 1,000 so we can see it, over 100 rather, times 275. Or if you want to go ahead and multiply, that can work. 0.60 times 275, that can work as well. So this will go. We do 275 times 6. That is 275 times or 6, 1650. Divided by 10, meaning that we're going to go one place to the left. So this is going to be 165. However, this 165 is not my final answer because it says that there is a fixed charge, which means that the fixed charge means that it doesn't matter how many amount of gas that you use, this charge will always be applied. So you're saying the answer is
C.
C, 165?
Yes, sir.
It can't be C.
What happened to the 1375? We haven't used that as yet, you know.
It's
Sure, it's A then.
answer.
So
It's
that
A.
that 165, you're gonna have to add the fixed charge, which is 1375. We haven't used that as yet. So our answer is A. You have to pay attention to this part, the fixed charge. All right, number 18. A car presently valued at 12,000, it depreciates at a rate of 10% per annum. What will be the value of the car after 1 year? So it loses 10% value. So pretty much percentage is out of 100. So 10 over that times 12,000. Go ahead and we can take 1, 2, 1, 2. So we're doing 120 times 10. So 1, 2, 20 times 10, add another 0. This is what the 10% is worth. So we need to subtract now 12,000 minus 1,200.
The answer is A, sir.
10,800. Yep, that is A.
Right.
All right, number 19. A dinner at a restaurant was advertised at $60 plus 18 tax. Remember, tax, it means that you're going to be paying more. So we need to find out what 18% is. So 18% is always at 100. The bill was $60. I can take off that. I can take off that. What else can we do? Oh, it's always good to divide by 10. So we can go ahead and multiply 18 times or 6, which is 6, 8, 48. 6 plus 108 divided by 10. When you're dividing by 10, one place to the left. So this is 10.8. It highlighted total, the total bill.
B is the answer.
The answer would be B because you need to add now that 60 to the the $10.80. So it's going to be $70.80. So it's going to be B. Number 20, a store offers a discount of 10% to customers who spend more than $20. If a customer bill is 80, what will be his actual pay? So obviously 80 is more than 20, so the discount will be applied. So 10 over 100 times 80. This can go, this can go, this can go, this can go. So we're left with 8. So the discount, the 10% is worth
$72.
good, is worth 8. So it's going to be 80 minus your 8, which is 72. That's C. All right, 21, pretty easy. The denominators are the same. We keep it, so that's 5x. Add our numerator, 4 plus 2, 6. A. 22, M asterisk N. This means that whatever value is right here, that's M. Whatever value is here, that's N. So in this case, M is 5 and N is 2. So we're going to substitute that. This says M cubed, which means that M will be multiplied 3 times, 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. And 25 times 5 is 125. Minus N squared. And N is 2, which means 2 times 2, which is 4. Let me put it right here. So 125 minus 4, that's 121. And the square root of 121 is 11. So our answer is D. So basically what you're doing here is substitution. 23, given that 3x minus 1 minus 2x equals 7, find x. 3 times x, that's 3x. 3 times negative 1, that's negative 3. Negative 2 times 1, negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 1, that's positive 2. And this is equal to 7. Grouping our like terms, 3 minus 2, that's x.
X.
Negative 2 and a positive 2 can eliminate, so we have minus 3. Did I do something wrong? Let me see. Let me erase this and go over something right here. So 3 times x, that's 3x, minus 3, minus 2x, plus 2 equals 7. Group my like terms, 3x
8.
minus 2x. Oh, negative 3 plus 2 equals 7. Yes.
No, sorry. Okay.
What's the question?
I'm not seeing your working out.
Yes, you're not seeing it? No, I'm writing on the. I'm writing now.
I don't see it.
The answer is A, sir.
No. The answer is C.
The answer is
Oh,
C.
oh, yes, sir. I care about the one and you get positive one.
Mm-hmm. Are you able to see the work you don't know?
Yes, sir.
All right, number 24. Probably it's a little bit delayed. Probably that's what is happening. All right, 24. We have negative times
Okay.
negative. This is going to be a positive 2q minus 3q. You have 2q minus 3q. So that's going to give me a negative q. So that's C.
C.
Yep. 25. If x is 4, y is 2. What is the value of x squared? X squared, if x is 4, it's going to be 4 squared plus 3 times 2 over x. X is 4, 4 times 2. So all we're going to be doing is simplify. I think we did this problem. I remember us doing this problem. So this is 16
Yes.
plus 6 over 8. Remember we did this problem?
Yes,
This
sir.
was 22 over 8. And we realized 22 over 8 was not there. So this would be 2 and 6 over 8. That's still not in my answer. So 2 and 6 over 8 needs to be simplified to 2 and 3/4. So this is D. 26. If P over 5 equals 20, what is P? Pretty much we can go ahead and multiply 5 times 20. 5 times 20. Oh, 5 times 20. Which of the answers is that? That's D. 5 times 20 is 100. Let's check our answer. If we have 100 and we divide it by 5, our answer would be 20. So we know that our answer is definitely correct. 27. P is 37 and Q is negative 25. We need to find P minus Q. So pretty much we're going to be subtracting. Let me put the subtraction sign there. So 3 minus negative 2 is essentially saying 3 plus 2, which is 5. 7 plus, we're subtracting 7 minus 5, which is 2. So answer there is 5, 2, which is C.
Sir, I get confused at the negative and the positive, but I can't score whatever, please.
So the question asks us to find the vector P minus Q. P is 3, 7. We're subtracting it from Q, which is negative 2, 5. So I'm subtracting the numbers at the top. 3 minus negative 2. 3 minus negative 2. When you have 2 negative, it becomes a positive. So 3 plus 2 is 5. And 7 minus 5 is 2. So our answer there is 5, 2. Always remember, whenever you have 2 negatives, it always becomes a positive. All right, 28. Item 28 refers to the following diagram of a parallelogram. When we hear parallelogram, we know that the sides are parallel, in which EF is parallel to HG, EH is parallel to FG, EF is equal to K, and EH is equal to M. So we can go ahead and put that information in. So this is K, and this is M. Let's put the arrows in. That's going that way. This is going this way. Evaluate EG. We need to find EG. EG is right here. We can find EG in 2 ways. We can go this way. So that's going to be M plus K. M plus K is M plus K in our answer. Yes, it's also stated as K plus M. So our answer here is A. There's also another way that we could have done it. We could have also gone the opposite direction by doing K right here plus M. So any way you do it, you pretty much get K plus M, which is A. 29. If 5xy is equal to 4, 10, 20, what is the value of x and y? Let's see if we can simplify this. 5xy means 5 times x and 5 times y. So 5x and 5y. 4 is equal to 4 times 10, that's 40. And 4 times 20, that's 80. So pretty much we want to find what x is and we want to find what y is using this information. And pretty much it's like two equations we're given. So right away, the first equation is 5x equals 40. Dividing both sides by 5. X is equal to 5 8 is 40, so x is equal to 8. Right away, we can see the answer. If x is equal to 8, we know that b is our answer, but let's prove it. The second part says 5y is equal to 80. Divide both sides by 5. Dividing 80 by 5, y is equal to 16. So answer there is B. All right, we're halfway the paper. Item 30, we're still on matrix. There are normally like 4 problems for matrix. All right, this one probably will be a little bit long. Item 30 refers to the following matrices: A and B. This is a 3 by 2 and a 2 by 3. We need the product. We're going to pretty much be multiplying row times column. Let's go. So we're going to be multiplying 1 times 3 plus, I'm going to need some space. 1 times 3 plus 3 times 2 plus negative 3 times 0. I think I'm going to need some space. All I'm doing this first row times this column. Then on the other side, I'm going to now do this times this column. So I'm going to do 1 times 0. Let's see if I can put it right here. Plus, I don't have space. Let me do it over. All right, let me start over. Let me use the text box. So we're doing row times column. So we're doing 1 times 3 plus 3 times 2 plus negative 3 times 0. The next entry is 1 times 0 plus 3 times 1 plus negative 3 times 5. All right, that's better. Below that now I'm going to be looking at the second part. And the second part is this part. Second row times first column. So what we're going to be doing now is 3 times 3 plus 0 times 2 plus 5 times 0. Then second row times second column, 3 times 0 plus 0 times 1 plus 5 times 5. All right, we have all this. All we're now going to be doing is working these out. 1 times 3, that's 3, plus 3 times 2, that's 6, plus 0, this is 9. So the first entry is going to be 9, which means that D can go and B can go. So our answer is between A and C. Let's look at the next entry. 1 times 0 is 0. 3 times 1 is 3. And this is plus negative 15. So 3 plus negative 15 is negative 12. So pretty much our answer is going to be A. But let's work it. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 0, plus 0. That's 9. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 0 again, plus 25. So this is 25, which proves that our answer is A. All right. 31. The volume of a cube whose edge is 6 centimeters long. Remember, volume of a cube is a 3 dimensions object. So L times L times L. So we're doing 6 times 6 times 6. 6 times 6 already is 36. So this and this can go. 36 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36 again. So our answer here is D. 36 times 6 is 216. 32. If it took a speedboat 9 hours to travel a distance of 1080 kilometers, what is the average speed? Remember now, speed equals distance over time.
Distance. Right.
We're given the distance. What was the distance? The distance was 1080.
Right.
And the time is 9. 1080 divided by 9. 120.
Right.
All right, 33. We did this in our review when we just started with the Kahoot. 2,500 millimeters expressed in meters. There's an easy way that we can do this. We know the what I say. We know that the different units that are used. There's an acronym that we normally use, that we normally say. So this is kilometer, hectometers, decimeter, decameters. This is the unit that you're using. This is decimeter, centimeter, and millimeter. Now, this is a very easy way that I normally use. So if I'm converting 2,500 millimeters, I'm going to go ahead and write 2,500, fill in all the numbers in the slots. And I'm converting it to meters. So it means that I am moving from here and I'm going to meters. So 1, 2, 3.
Going to place.
3 places. Yeah, so it's going to be 2.5. $34. An aircraft leaves A 1600 hours and arrives at B in 1900 hours, traveling at an average speed of 550 kilometers per hour. A and B are in the same time zone. The distance from A to B is, well, let's find out. Aircraft A, it leaves A in 1600 hours, and then it arrives at B in 1900 hours. So 16 to 19, that's 3. And then half an hour. So for the time, it took 3.5 hours. So 3.5 hours.
Come for this, Mr. Len. Come for this.
And then there is an average speed. The average speed was 5,500. We need to find the distance. We just used the formula a while ago. Speed equals distance over time. So let's apply that. So speed equals distance over time. But in the previous problem, we were finding speed. But in this problem, we're given speed. So we need to find the distance. So distance will be equal to speed times time. So our speed is 550. Let me simplify before I work it in. So S times T means speed times time is equal to distance. So if you need to find the distance, it is the speed times the time. So we're going to be multiplying 550 times 3.5. 3.5 is the same thing as saying 3.5. I normally do that 3 to 6, 7 over 2. So this would be like 7.5, 7 over 2 times 550. 22, 1, 25, 2, remainder 1, 7, remainder 1. So we're doing 275 times or 7. And when we do 275 times 7, that is 1925. So our answer here is D. And you can use whichever method you had wanted. If you had wanted to go and do, if you had wanted to do 550 times 3.5, you would have still gotten the same answer as 1925. 35. A rectangular garden plot is 15 meters long and 12 meters wide, and it has an area of 80 squared meters. It is used for a vegetable garden. What area of the plot is not used? So the rectangular plot garden is 50 meters long and 12 meters wide. So let's find the area of that. So we're going to be finding 15 times our 18, 2 5s 10, 3. So this is 180. But the question says that it's a rectangular plot garden is 50 meters long and 12 wide. An area of 80 is used for vegetable garden. We need to find out what portion is not used. So we need to subtract that 80 from our 180, which means that it is B, which is 100. 36. The distance around a lake is 8 kilometers. The distance around the lake is 8 kilometers. On a map, the distance around the lake is represented by 2 centimeters. What is the scale? So pretty much what this question is saying is that 2 centimeters is used to represent 8 kilometers. If 2 centimeters represent 8 kilometers, we can pretty much go ahead and find what 1 is. Let me write this 8 properly. And to do that, we can divide both sides by 2. Both sides by 2. So we have 1 centimeter being equal to 4 kilometers. We need to find out what the scale is. Right away, we can rule out 2 answers. If 1 centimeter is equal to 4 kilometers, our answer must have something to do with 1 to 4. So right away, these 2 can go, B and C can go. We're going to now be converting from centimeters to kilometers. I'm going to go back all the way up here. So we are at 4 kilometers. We're going to convert that to centimeters. So I'm going to go back up here, the table that I created. Kilometers is right here. So I'm going to put 4 right here. And we're converting to centimeters. So we're converting to centimeters. So I'm going to go all the way. I'm going to add zeros until I arrive at C. So add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. So 4 kilometers in centimeters is 3 is 400,000. So it means that the scale on the graph that was used was 1 to 400,000. Item 37 refers to the following diagram not drawn to scale. It shows a cuboid. The volume of the cuboid is, so the volume of the cuboid is 320. And the height is 5, which is given. The cuboid has a square base. What is the length of one side of the base? Well, we know the volume of a cuboid is length times width times height. But in this case, it has a square base. So instead of saying length times width, we're going to say length times length. We're also given the volume. We're given the volume to be 320, so we can say 320 equals length times the height, and the height is 5. Well, that's the length that we need to find, so we can therefore go ahead and divide both sides by 5. So this is gone. 5 into 5, 1, 6, 5, 30, 2, that's 64. So this is saying 64 is equal to L times L. If it's a square, it means that this L and L must be the same two value. What two same numbers will multiply to give me 64? Well, it's going to be 8, because 8 times 8 is 64. Another way that you could have worked it was do 64 is equal to L squared. Opposite of squaring is finding the square root, and the square root of 64 is also 8. 38. A square has the same area as a rectangle with sides length of 9 and 16. What is the length of a side of the square? Okay, so let's find the area of the rectangle, because we're given both sides. We're given 16 and 9. 16 times 9, that's 144. If the area of the rectangle and the area of the square is the same, we know that the area of a square is equal to length times length, or L squared. We're given the area to be 144, which is equal to L squared. We can therefore go ahead and find the square root of 144, which means that one side of the square is 12. We need to find the median of these numbers. Thankfully, they are already in order, so we need to find the middle number or middle numbers. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers. So it's going to mean that there are 2 numbers in the middle. So let's mark off 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 middle numbers are 6 and 7. If whenever you have 2 middle numbers, you add them and divide by 2. So this is 13 halves. 13 halves. Half of 13, 6.5. So our answer is C. 40. Item 40 refers to the following frequency table, which shows the time taken by 20 students to solve a math problem. And that's the time, and that's it. What is the lower class boundary of the interval 3 to 5? So we're looking at this interval right here. Whenever we're finding the lower class boundary of any given interval, we always subtract 0.5 from the lower interval, the lowest value. And the lowest value in that interval is 3, the lower class boundary. So the lower class boundary here is 3, upper class boundary 5. So we need to subtract 0.5 from 3. So if you're finding the boundary, we always subtract 0.5. So 3 minus 0.5, that is 2.5. So now we're on statistics. Feel like we did this one already too. Item 41 refers to the following table, which shows the frequency of scores obtained by students in a test. The scores, this column is our score, and students. What is the modal score? Modal comes from the word mode, which means that it appears the most. Which score appears the most? Is our answer 8 or is our answer 12? Let's look right here. It says, what is the modal score? Or modal score, which means that many students got that score. Or modal score was 8. All All right, this graph looks a bit weird. And we did this already. We did a problem like this. The median of the mark score of 200 students. So item 42 refers to the following diagram of a cumulative frequency, which shows the mark obtained by 200 students. Median is halfway, so we need to find halfway. 200, half of 200, that's 100. So it's at the 100th value that will give us our median. Let's look at the cumulative frequency. Let's go to 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. We're going to go over here and then go down here. If this is 30, 35, 36, 37, it's between 37 and 38. So our answer here is 37.5. That's our answer. Item 43 refers to the following bar chart, which shows the ages of children who took part in a survey. How many children took part in the survey? Well, these are the ages and these are the number of children. So we have 3, 4, 2, 5, 1. Well, pretty much it says how many took part in the entire survey. So we're going to be adding all
B,
of
sir.
them. B?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that's 3 plus 4 is 7, 9, 5. Yes, it's 15. 600 students write an examination. The probability that a randomly selected student failing the exam is 1/5. How many students are expected to pass? Pretty easy. If we know that 1/5 is expected to fail, then it means that the remainder, which is 4/5, they are expected to pass. So we can find 4/5 times 600 students. 5 into 5, 1. 1, remainder 1. This is 2, 0. So we're doing 120 times 4. So we know that this is out. This is out. Answer is 480. That's it. C is our answer. So 480 students are expected to pass. All right, now we're on function, relation, and graph. Item 45 refers to the following mapping of a diagram. The relationship that best describes the mapping diagram is 1-to-1. That's not true. This one is going to this one, okay. This one is going to this one, all right. This is going to this. This is also going to this. It's not 1-to-1.
I would
Let's
say
check.
B, sir.
You'd say B?
No, D as in dog.
Oh, D. All right, let's see. 1 to many. 1 going to many. That's not true either. Many to 1. So many is going just to 1. No. So yes, you're right. It is many going to many, and we can clearly see that. This one is going to this one going to this. This is also going to this, and this going to this. So many to many. That's right. Item 46 refers to the following arrow diagram. X mapped onto Y. The arrow diagram best describes the relation Y is less than X. Let's see if that is true. 8 is less than 2. That's not true. That's wrong. Y is a factor of X. Is 8 a factor of 2? Nope. That's out. So we're left with C or D. X is a multiple of Y. Is 2 a multiple of 8? No. 2 is not a multiple of 10 either, because multiples of 10 would be 10, 100, 1,000, and so forth. So this is also not true. So it means that D is our answer. X is a factor of Y. Let's check. If 8 is our number, or factors of 8, if X is our factor, 2 is a factor of 8, and it's also a factor of 10, yes. 3 is a factor of 9, 4 is a factor of 8. So our answer here is D. All right, going through the problem, realize that there was an error with 47. Actually, there is no answer. And let's look at it. Which of the following line graph represents x is such that its x is greater than -2, x is greater than -2, and x is less than or equal to 4. You're looking at it, one of it must be shaded, and one part would be unshaded. And if you look at all of these, none of them are showing that. So there was actually no answer for this one. That was an error. I don't know on their part. If you pretty much look, all of them are saying the same thing, which is not an answer. And if x is greater than -2, it should not start at -2 because x is greater than -2. So it would have to start at -1. 48. The graph was a little bit off, so I tried to make it a little better. I think we did this problem already, if my memory serves me right. The maximum point of y equals 4x minus x squared. When we talk about maximum, we're talking about the
Yeah,
highest
the answer,
point
sir.
where it happens. And you're saying it's C? All right,
Yes,
let's
sir.
see. The maximum point or minimum, in this case, it's a maximum. It happens at the highest point in this graph. The
D,
highest
sir.
point in this graph is
4.
is it D 4 2 or is it 2 4?
D, sir.
2, 4.
Always remember it's x before y. So our x here is 2 and our y is 4.
And C.
So it's C.
Right.
The value of x at the point where this function intersects y at 0, meaning that when y is 0, this is my y-axis. When it's 0, it's at this point, 0, and it's also at this point, 4. So 0, 4. Is that there? Yes, it's A. "50. Which of the following represents the equation of a line?" Well, we know the formula for the equation of a line is y equals mx plus c. Y equals mx plus c. So we're going to be looking for which one that appears the same as this, and it seems to be B. No working out for that one. 51. Which of the following set is represented by the function x squared plus 3, meaning that these values will be squared and then you add 3. Let's see. 0 squared is 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. 1 squared is 1. 1 plus 3, that's 4. 2 squared is 4. And 4 plus 3, 7. 3 squared, 9. 9 plus 3, 12. So if when x is 0, y is 3. When x is 1, y is 4. When x is 2, y is 7. When x is 3, y is 12. Pretty much that information is summarized in D right here. "52. A line L is parallel to the line 2x minus 5y minus 8 equals 0. What is the gradient of the line?" We can't tell the gradient as it is right now. We have to put it in the form y equals mx plus c. And in order for us to do that, y must be by itself. So we're going to be, let me write it back here. So the aim is to get y by itself. So we're going to have negative 5y being equal to, we're going to take over this positive 2x, it's going to become negative 2x. And we can take over this negative 8, it's going to become positive 8. Then we can go ahead and divide everything by negative 5. So now we have y is equal to 2 over 5x plus 8 over 5. The slope is all, or the gradient is always the value or the coefficient of x. The value that is beside x, or the coefficient of x, in this case is 2/5. So our answer here is C, 2/5. 53. Item 53 refers to the following diagram, which shows a translation. Translation is a slide. Let's look at the points. B started at 5 and then 7. A was 2, 5, and then it slid. We realized that it increased, it went up. So from 2 to 4, it increased by 2 on the x-axis. And then on the y-axis, this was 5 and this was 6, it increased by 1. Let's see if that's the same thing for B. 5 plus 2, that's 7. 7 plus 1, that's 8. So it means that the translation that took place was 2, 1, which is B. In the diagram, by the translation by which AB is mapped onto A prime, B prime is 2, 1, which we just worked. Again, a translation is a slide. 54. Item 54 refers to the following diagram. Of course, these two are parallel. We can see it right here. In the diagram, PQ and RS are parallel. Which of the following best describes the relationship between P and Q?
Equal.
A.
A. All right. So look at it. Here is P and here is Q. I always like to draw the angle so you guys can always see. It's an alternate angle and an alternate angle. Alternate angles, they are equal. So yes, P equals Q. 55. A ship sailed 8 kilometers due east from A to B. It then sailed 6 kilometers due north to C. Which of the following diagram best represents the path of the ship?
A, sir.
Sorry, A?
Yes,
All
sir.
right, let's find out. We're talking about some bearings here, so it's always good to draw your own diagram first. So a ship sailed 8 kilometers due east from A to B. So always remember, we're always talking about, it's always in relation to north. So the ship sailed 8 kilometers due east. So if north is here, 8 kilometers due east would be here. See that already? So A is already out because from A to B should be 8 and this is saying 6. You see that? You see why it's not A?
Yes, sir.
Then from A to B, then it says it sailed north. So from this point, it then went north, which is up. And it went north 6 kilometers. So 6 kilometers. Which diagram kind of looks the same as mine? It's not A, not B. It looks as if it's C.
Yes, sir. It's C.
Yes. So our answer here is C. All right, 56. In each of the following diagram, OA prime, the image of OA, which of the diagram shows the reflection in the y-axis? So we're looking for reflection in the y-axis. Here's my y-axis. My y-axis is always my vertical axis. So we're going to be looking for the reflection that is taking place right here. Which one seems to be a reflection? So we're looking for the reflection of OA in the y-axis. It's not A, because A, B, yep. This is my y-axis, and reflection is a flip. So from here to here, it flipped. A is wrong because that was the x-axis. A and C were wrong, they were all x-axis. D seems pretty close, but it's not the y-axis. So our answer here is B. Number 156, yeah. All right, 57, we're almost done. We did it, guys. Triangle ABC, angle A is equal to X, and angle B is equal to 2x. What is the size of angle C? When we get questions like these, I'll always advise you to make a visual representation so you can clearly see it. So this is a triangle, and one angle is x, and another angle is 2x. We need to find a third angle. We know that angles in a triangle adds up to 180. So if we needed to find this angle, it would be 180 minus the sum of these two, and x plus 2x is 3x. So it's 180 minus 3x, which is D. The visual representation really made it very helpful. So if ever you get a problem and you're not sure, make a visual representation, and I guarantee it will make it a little bit simpler. 58. Item 58 refers to the following diagram, which shows an enlargement. Enlargement means that it will get bigger. It means that the scale factor is greater than 1. So it becomes bigger, scale factor greater than 1. 2. All right, let's prove it. In the diagram, yes, in the diagram, triangle ABC is mapped onto A prime, B prime, C prime with O as the center. What is the scale factor of the enlargement? As I mentioned, when you have an enlargement, the scale factor must be greater than 1. Number one is A is out because a half is not greater than 1. This is out as well. Oh, this one is out rather, sorry. Let's see how much it increased. You can check by counting the units. From A to C, that's 2 units. From A prime to C prime, yes, that's 4 units. Yep, and you can go ahead and divide. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So you can clearly see that the size of the triangle, it doubled. So our answer here is D. All right, 2
The
more.
answer is B, sir.
The answer is D. D. The answer
I'm
is
talking
D.
59, sir. 59.
Oh, 59. Oh, 59, yes. I think we did this one already. So multiple choice, as you know, the questions will repeat. So these are similar triangles because this is 59. This is also 59. This side is 6. This side is 3. There's a relationship happening there. This triangle, it's smaller. It's like half the size of this one. So if this side is 7, it means that this side will be 3.5 because it's half the size. So our answer is B. Final one. Item 60 refers to the following right angle triangle. Which trig ratio is equal to 4 over 8? Here's my 4.
Sir.
All right, let's see. Here is 4 and here is 8. This is my opposite because it's opposite the angle that we're talking about. It says right here. Yep, so opposite. And this is my hypotenuse because it's directly facing my right angle symbol. And the trig ratio that is equivalent to opposite and hypotenuse will be sine. So it will be sine x, which is A. All right, so we did 2 multiple choice papers, and we also did a paper 1, a paper 2 rather. I trust and hope that these would have been helpful to you guys, and you probably would have gotten some more time to prepare for your exam. So I trust that these sessions would have been helpful to you guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, you are welcome.
All right.
Remember to send the working notes, sir.
Say that again.
Remember to send the working notes for paper 2.
Oh, yes, yes.
All right, sir. We want to tell you thanks so much. And the students are telling you that you did so well. And I'm sure they're going to use the knowledge gained today. And for the 3 days, sir, you have been good. I can tell you, and I'm sure the students got it. I'm sure you have other students. Your other students are here today. Let me see, Barbara. No, Barbara is not there right now. All right,
Yep.
and we just, yes, Barbara, I
Yes,
want
miss.
to tell sir, thank you for the class. Thank you for sharing for 3 days. We really appreciate it so much. We're giving him a gift, man. You know, we're sending him all the gifts. We know he's not in Jamaica and he took the time out, and you know, he did well. And we want to thank you so much. Barbara, what you want to say? All right, Barbara.
Well, I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you very much, sir, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to assist us. And looking forward to get a good grade and make you proud. Thank you very much.
Yes, no problem.
All right,
You're
and that's
welcome.
all right, and that's what we all want for the students to do extremely well. So thank you, students, and we're going to close with prayer. Let us pray. Father, we give you thanks. It's because of your grace and your mercy, Lord, we could have done this. We thank you for the strength that you have given unto us. And we ask you now, Lord, that the students now will do well, that you will be with them in their exams. And we ask you now, Lord, that your Holy Spirit will cover us. Thank you for everything that you have done and continue to guide and lead us. Now we pray. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. So bye,
Amen.
everyone, and thank you for coming. I would want to thank all the teachers, want to thank all the teachers. And so students, please go out and make us proud, all right? All right.
Okay, miss.
All right, bye-bye, everyone.
Sister Hamilton, are you still there? Or she left?
I'm still here. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I have gotten most of the emails already. I'm gonna include you on it as well. Can you send me your email so that I can verify if it was actually sent?
All right.
So we're
And if
taking 3 papers, right?
say that again. Sister Hamilton, did you send your email?
I'm doing it now. Right in the chat.
Do you have a group or with the email?
Yes, I have a group. I have a WhatsApp group with some of these students. So you can send it to me and then I will forward it to them.
Okay. Did you put your email in there or not?
In the chat. It's right in
Which
the chat.
one? Is it the CJ?
CJR. Yes,
Okay.
CJR Ame. And you have other students now. Justin CB110. Tell me when you send so I can check it.
I'm gonna send it afterwards.